It's the Found Physics Museum. I'm here looking at the plinth on which David von Schlegel's statue or sculpture, West End, stood. I took a video of it a while ago and talked about the fact that we don't know for sure, we really have no experimental evidence to suggest that the one-way speed of light is the same as the round-trip speed of light. And that's an issue for that video. What I'm thinking about here is impermanence, right? The statue has been removed. It was a big silvery thing, and presumably it'll be restored in some way. Impermanence is an important thing to think about. In fact, the opening video for the Found Physics Museum is about the eternal flame, and it turns out that in that context, eternal just means for an unspecified or unknown length of time. And I wonder sometimes whether when people sing the Stars and Stripes Forever, for example, about the United States flag, whether they're thinking that somehow the United States will exist forever. I mean, this building in which I stand will not exist forever, of course. It's been around for 50 years or so. It'll be lucky to last another 50 years with the way people are talking. There are a lot of people who dislike this place and would like to replace it, I think. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's not for me to say one way or the other, just to express an opinion on. But everything passes away, as far as we can tell. I used to think that Earth would be habitable until shortly before the sun went into its red giant phase a few billion years from now. But it turns out that the sun increases its radiance slowly over time, and which is not the cause of global warming, by the way. That's man-made carbon dioxide emissions, methane emissions, and other greenhouse gas emissions. But the habitability of Earth will end before the possibility of liquid water ends. In other words, as the sun's radiance increases in a few 100 million years or several 100 million years, the liquid water will no longer be possible on the Earth's surface. The Earth will simply be too hot because the sun will be more radiant. And that'll happen long before the sun enters its red giant phase. I found that out only several years ago. So I'm not sure when this was realized, but I didn't get the memo right away, I'm sure. So I think it's important to focus on the fact that we're not permanent, our buildings aren't permanent, our nation states aren't permanent, the habitability of Earth isn't permanent, and eventually the universe will run down, is one possible end, so to speak, in the far future. The universe could also collapse back in on itself and end in what's called the Big Crunch. We certainly won't live through that, or could we? I mean, could our distant descendants evolved into something substantially different from us exist at that time, or could we be resurrected in some way? Nobody knows. So I'm thinking about impermanence. I'm thinking about the limits of our knowledge, and I'm thinking about the fact that we really need to take care to make sure that we go on as long as possible, which is, I think, what's happening to the statue. I think it's being restored to keep it in good shape for as long as possible, which won't be forever. And I don't find that a sad thought. It's Found Physics.